basically I'm just rehashing what you said, but you think venture capital is throwing money and away you go. But would you argue that you did say that's the first step, but that's probably 50% of it, or maybe less than, right? It's not just the money, it's the networking, it's the expertise, it's the experience, it's the knowledge sharing. So that's typically done in the board seat arrangements that you come up with when you invest?
Yeah, often in board seats. Other times we just connect with our companies once a week, once a fortnight, ask them what they need. It really depends on another concept, whether we're leading or whether we're following.
Right.
So, generally, so in a deal, there's normally one lead investor and a number of other investors. And it's our view that the lead investor should be someone that really understands the market and ideally the technology. The first thing is to understand that problem and market, and they will then put the deal terms together and do the diligence, and others will follow. That lead investor should also be able to add value. So where we have got all those sort of things together and it fits our investment thesis and strategy, then we will lead. If it's one we don't know as much about the industry or the technology, but we can't add as much value, but we think we can be additive, then we'll look at following. If we can't add any value, then there's no way we can invest.
Got it. Yeah. What are some? So you are a partner at Pacific Channel. Is that the right title?
Yes.
Yeah. Partner. And that means that you, in some of these portfolio companies that you are on the board of, or you have a directorship in some of that. So you've got your fingers in a lot of pies, I can imagine.
Yeah, I've got a lot of jobs.
Yeah. Well, your LinkedIn profile is quite incredible,
Yeah, and just for one of our companies, we just had a day and a half strategy session. In fact, that's what I've just come from, and those are really great because you've been along the journey with the company, and it really gives founders and management someone to bounce ideas off. So that directorship role is really important, and so we call it active investment. That's the title, right?
Yeah, no, so good. And you having done this with so many different companies, you would have seen a lot happening, and you would have seen some patterns, or maybe there's some outliers, and you can kind of see how the vision can be implemented before maybe some of the founders can, because you've got that step-by-step exposure, right?
Yeah, I mean, and my job is not to be the smartest person in the room. It's the person to ask the right questions, right? Yeah. And it's management's job to really solve those problems. And yes, I'm there to help, but I'm not there driving it forward as management. We really got to. My job is to enable management.
Yeah. What have been some of maybe you can't share too much detail, and that's fine, but what are some of the really big successes that you've had in your various roles in these portfolio companies, making some really important decisions or connecting founders with other companies?
Yeah, I'll probably easier to talk to the ones where I was actually management. So that's a really important part of my story is I think for deep tech is, because deep tech is so complicated, you actually need people who've been there in management shoes before to actually provide that advice. You can't provide theoretical advice. It needs to be...
Oh, I watched a YouTube video. Yeah, we can do this.
Yeah, exactly. And it's always very sector-specific expertise. And so I think the biggest success I've had personally is taking Engender Technologies, which I was COO, Chief Operating Officer of, to exit. So I got involved, helped raise a Series A, helps scale the technology to the point where we could raise a larger amount of money, and then through that process was able to communicate that value to three corporates that ended up resulting in a competitive bidding process, and we sold the company. And actually that company was retained in New Zealand with its R&D team, which they actually invested a lot more into and beefed up. Yeah. So it was a success for the investors and success for the individuals running the founders of the co-founders and founders of that company, and the employees as well.
And Engender, is that the gamete selection
technology?
Yes,
sperm sex selection technology.
Right. Yeah.
So sorting very New Zealand, sorting bovines' sperm cells by sex because dairy farmers want cows, but bulls don't produce any milk, so there's not much value to them. And so we were developing it as an agricultural technology, but we always knew in the distance there was a potential for use for cell sorting for clinical or cancer type treatments, and so it was really exciting technology. But we managed to sell it with that first application.
I see. Is that going on further development in these avenues that you mentioned?
No, the acquirer is an agricultural company, so they really focused on their bread and butter. But it was it's very exciting to be involved with technology that has an amazing vision that you can develop over.